Hey folks, Sam from TMVC, Greenline, and Warrior Poet Society. Today I want to talk about something that is a little bit off top, or kind of it parallels some of the sciencey, nerdy stuff, but it's something that is often overlooked. Anyway, backstory on this: there's a certain individual who was made some comments on the internet, definitely throwing some shade my way, in addition to a bunch of other people. And I wanted to take the time to address some of what he said and say that, I do actually kind of agree a little bit on what he says, but I think he lacks the ability to see the big picture. And today, what I want to talk about is really the most, I wouldn't say the most important, but it's probably the most overlooked aspect of all this gear that we have or want to acquire. All this gear is super cool. I mean, seeing in the dark, it is a superpower. That is, goes without saying. But probably the most overlooked element when it comes to night vision: training. Training. Having all this gear is great, but if you never train with it, it is near worthless. It is not an invisibility cloak. It is not this super force field of darkness that will save you when something goes down if you have to use it. That has been proven time and time again in the last 20 years against the Sand People. Anyway, training. What is training? Training is structured curriculum to expose you to the basics of using the equipment that helps you see in the dark, right? Not just night vision, but lasers, all the mounts, all the peripheral accoutrements and whatnot. It all kind of comes together. It highlights what skills need to be further refined, and gives you the how and the why, so that you can go on and know exactly what you need to practice, what skills, be they gun skills, be they fine motor skills, gear manipulation, all that stuff. So training. Some of the best shooters in the world are amazing shooters, but when you put night vision on them, they fall apart. And I've seen it time and time again because they're awesome during the day, but they don't train with this gear at night. And when you take somebody's field of view down from 180, 190 degrees with your peripheral vision and all your visual acuity during the day, and you give them a 40-degree toilet paper tube to look through, it definitely makes it a lot harder. Conservatively, doing stuff in the dark is 3 times harder than it is doing it in the daylight. So training. Some of the comments that were made were basic night vision classes. Don't do this, don't do that, blah, 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 blah. Listen, it's a basic night vision class. If you are already operating at a high performance level, then yeah, you're probably not going to get a lot out of training. But these night vision classes are designed to take, a base level student whose intro into night vision is pretty much right there, and then train them up to a certain level. And then obviously give them the skills that they need to go out and further that training through correct gear purchases. When they get the gear, they already have the basics covered, and then they can kind of go and hit the ground running. Sure, there are advanced, mastery of other skills that can be, practiced or trained, but what that individual was mostly talking about was practice, not training. Practice is different than training. You learn what to practice in training. You are exposed to new things in training. Could you stumble across all this stuff that I go over in my night vision class? You could stumble across a fair amount of it, but who knows how long that would take you. In 2 nights, I can move the ball further down the field than you probably could in 6 to 12 to 24 months of just trying to do it on your own. So when it comes to training, it's generally a good idea to go get the skinny from the dude straight from the horse's mouth who kind of specialize in this stuff. If you're all about saving time, money, and energy. If you want to just, go out in your backyard and figure it out yourself, okay, cool. But oftentimes I've dealt with guys like that, and they're really good at certain things, and then some of the most basic things out there, I show them, they're like, whoa, why didn't I think of that? I'm like, well, because you don't know what you don't know, and you're just not necessarily going to stumble across some of this stuff. So once you get the basics down, awesome. And I don't care if you train with me or you go train with a guy like, Mocha Bear, John Dufresne, or Chuck Pressburg, or Bill Blowers, or any of these other guys out there doing night vision training. The key word, though, is training. Training, training, training. Get your structured reps in. Practice those fine motor skills. Slow it down. Go your 80%. Really build those neural pathways. That's what you're doing with the training. You're getting those basics. You're building those neural pathways so that you can go out on your own and practice it on your own or with your buddies. And that's the other thing. Don't buy all this gear if you're not going to train with it. It's worthless. So if you're buying it because you're a prepper and you're like, oh, I'm going to, when the lights go off, I'm just going to grab my night vision that I never trained with, that I've never taken out of the box. Yeah, good luck with that, brother. Anyway, training, training, training. Don't overlook it. If you have the ability to shoot at night, man, do it. Do it. Don't go get sunburned. Get out there at night and train, train, train. Go to night vision classes. This is why you buy the gear. You look for an excuse to use it. So if you have questions, hit me up. Greenline Tactical will resume the training here in a few months once the summer months pass, and we're going to hit the ground running. So hope to see you guys out there on the range. If you have questions in the meantime, hit me up. I'll be doing some War Poet stuff this summer as well. Don't mind answering night vision related questions there. Or I'm always at TNVC. Anyway, talk to you all later.